Hello everyone, welcome to ADRA Asia's podcast, While on Earth.
Happy, efficient and productive.
I'm very passionate about young people.
Currently leading the disaster risk management unit department.
Overnight is a long process.
Hello everyone, welcome again to While on Earth, the podcast run by ADRA Asia. And today we have a special guest from the Philippines, and her name is Hope. Dr. Hope, who are you?
Dr. Hope, huh? Well, who am I? I'm Hope Aperocho, the country director of ADRA Philippines, and I've been with ADRA for only a year now, and I found it amazing.
How did you end up in ADRA, and what were you doing before ADRA?
Before ADRA, I'm in the academy at Mountain View College. I've been the academic vice president for almost 8 years. Then I've been the quality assurance director for a year. And then ADRA called me. I don't know why. I even asked, I think you were the ones who interviewed me. I even asked them, why me? Me having no experience with the NGO world. So probably I'm going to ask you, why me?
Maybe I'll answer it in another interview. But how are you finding it now, moving from the academic world to the NGO world? Is it a big shift, or is it more or less the same?
I think it's more or less the same in the way the things, how passionate you are in the mission. Okay, because in the academy, the mission is to train young people to be who they are, who would God want them to be. Here in ADRA, you work with the community. And one of the things that really attracted me to ADRA, because I could say no with that invitation, it's the motto of ADRA, serving humanity so all may live as God intended. And that's what I've been doing with the students, serving them, teaching them, that they would be the person that God wanted them to be. And here comes ADRA in a different context, in a wider context, and that's the community. And that's what made me attract to ADRA. And you know what? For this past year, I found it amazing. I'm having fun. I love the work. I've been visiting project sites. It's, the feeling, how you felt when people from the community tell you that because you are doing this is what happened to us. There was a change, there are transformations in their lives. You've seen how a vulnerable woman became so resilient and assertive, and that's a change that I'm very, very happy about. And I'm happy with what ADRA's been doing in that area.
Oh, thanks for that. What are you passionate about, Hope?
Well, that's what I've said. I'm passionate about learning.
Okay.
I'm passionate about the mission,
Right.
And I'm passionate about serving. I've been serving in the academy. Now, in the wider context, in the community, it's much more fulfilling for me.
Right. So let's maybe focus a little bit about your passion in learning. Can you describe that approach or sentiment a little bit more?
Okay. When I say passionate about learning, as what I've said when you interviewed me, I said I don't have the experience with an NGO work, but I'm willing to learn. And I'm a person who is so curious. I'm a person who wants to know how things are done, and I'm learning a lot. And because of that learning, there are also things that I have learned that I wanted to share to others. As a teacher, that's my work before. As a teacher, I shared what I learned to my students. Now, I'm here in ADRA. I'm learning about the work of ADRA. I'm even learning how programs, grant proposals are done. And now the programs manager has been asking me, can you help us do the research? Because, in the academy, I've been writing research papers. So it's good that skill was being used in ADRA now. And I'm learning how to do that. On the other hand, I also share what I learned, especially to my staff. Because when, I'm a management professor, a business management professor. And there are things that as a manager, that your staff should know on how to deal with each other the other skills that is not technical, the soft skills. And so we have now a program in the country office that each month we'll have a training session. I've done 3 training sessions with them on different topics that is relevant in the workplace, which I believe each staff must know and must learn.
How important is sharing in this learning process?
Oh,
Does it complement?
yeah.
How does it complement?
Okay. When you learn and you keep it to yourself, it's the learning that you have is useless. It has to be shared. What you learn has to be shared. Then with the sharing that you have, it doubles, it multiplies, and more people will learn. I don't believe in keeping it to yourself. You're so selfish. I know this thing, I will not share this skill. No, I don't believe in that one. It has to be shared, and you will become more relevant in this world, I should say.
ADRA works a lot with disadvantaged communities, and not necessarily communities that have a very high level of literacy or education. What are some of the things you have learned within this short time in ADRA from the communities that are not necessarily seen to be educated?
What I've learned, when I visited these communities, there are things that I learned from them. One of the things that I've learned, you could never impose what you learn also to them, because what you learn, they might not be able to grasp it.
Right.
But it is important for me to learn all about them. I'll just give you an example. Actually, just recently, Levy and I, together with an address team, visited a very remote community. And we have to hike for 7 hours going there, 7 hours going back. So that's equivalent to 14 hours hike. When I arrived there, it's an IP community. There are things that I've learned that probably in the other setup, when you are in the more civilized community, you might say, oh, it should have been done like this. No, you'll never impose to this community what you have learned, because they might not be able to understand it, and it might cause confusion and misunderstanding to them. So these are the things that I learned from the community. You understand them, and from them, you learn from their culture, you learn from their context, and use that knowledge to develop something for them.
And you mentioned IP. What does that stand for?
Oh, IP is, we call the Indigenous Peoples Group, and these are people in the different tribes in the country, and that is where we went, and because we would want to focus to open up programs in the southern Philippines, where a lot of IP groups are there. And so we would want to start opening up some programs with them, because these are the people that is found in the GIDA, the geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. And just imagine a 7-hour hike going to the community, and you look at them, the development and everything, and they need a lot of help.
Right. But they can also teach us many things.
Many things about their culture, about life. And even though they are like that, they are resilient in a way. Right.
So I started by saying Dr. Hope because you have a doctorate in leadership?
Yes, I have a doctorate in management and majoring in leadership and organization. That's my area of specialization.
Don't you get tired of learning?
No, I don't. Sorry. I really love learning. I love to read books. Even in my pastime. Some people relax themselves through playing games, watching TV, doing tennis or whatever. I love to relax myself doing crossword puzzles or Sudoku. And people were telling me, are you relaxed? Because you have to think. Because I believe, for me, learning, it should be, you have to hone our minds to make it more sharp. Okay? And I believe, as a leader, for example, you have to learn, because the learning that we have is just very small. There are a lot of things that we need to learn. That's why I'm not tired of learning.
So we have many viewers that are young, youth, young ADRA staff, just starting off in ADRA. Do you have any advice for them in terms of learning and growing?
Yes, I would like to advise our young people our young ADRA staff, don't ever stop learning. because through learning you will grow and you will see a better world. You will see a better world. You have a better grasp of what the world is all about. And once you have that grasp within you, you will be, the more you serve the community, you will serve them wholeheartedly. Not because it's a job, but because you learn something that you would want to share to the community.
Right. So now the individual passion that you have for learning, how do you implement that in ADRA Philippines to make it a learning organization? What are some of the key steps you could take that the organization itself becomes a learning organization?
One of the activities of one of our projects, Project Together, which I really appreciated, is where they offer grants to community for a learning process.
Okay.
And I visited that community, and the project staff didn't even do the program. It's now the community women's group who are doing the community program. They are being trained, and in that way, as ADRA, we can actually train communities to be their own facilitators of learning in their own communities. Because, we will not be there for a long time. They are the ones staying in the community. So they should also, as ADRA, we will facilitate the training of these groups. And then when we leave, they will be the one to lead their community and train the rest of the communities.
Right.
Share and learn. And I think that's a good direction that we can do.
Right. I have one more question
Yeah.
for you. If you had a superpower, what would it be and how would you use it?
Well, I was thinking about that when you asked me about a while ago, and I had this. Do you know King Midas?
No, never heard of it.
Oh, okay. I think it's a mythology story.
Okay.
King Midas, everything that he touches turns into gold.
Okay.
Well, the Philippines is a very poor country. How I wish everything I touch will turn into gold,
Gold.
so that I have more money to help communities.
Wow. Yes. Okay. If you ever achieve that superpower, let me know, and I will bring some of the things that I own also for you to touch. Yeah.
So that's it. I think in our own little way, we can help. We don't need to become King Midas. We don't need to have superpowers. But in our own little way, we can make a difference in whatever skills, expertise, strengths that we have. If we use it, not for ourselves, but for others, though how little is that, we can make a difference. And that's what we are doing here in ADRA. We don't claim to be experts. We don't claim to have all the answers to the problems of the world. But in our own little way, we make a difference to the lives of community. And that's what made me love ADRA in this 1 year time.
Dr. Hope, thank you very much for agreeing to be on the show.
Yeah, thank
And
you
we
very
hope
much.
you can make some time again in the
Yeah.
future. To all our viewers out there, thank you very much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and join us on our next episode. Thank you.